Yeah, we're just waiting on Ms. Foche right now. There she goes. All right, take your time, Ms. Foche. Look like you're on a track meet right here.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't do well in a track event right at the moment, okay?
All right.
All right.
I'd like to call the regular meeting to order. Will everybody please rise for prayer?
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for the opportunity to gather together this evening and make decisions on behalf of the children of St. Bernard. We ask that you watch over our teachers and support personnel as they work with our children. Give them the guidance they need to provide safe and inspiring environments for learning. Help them as they strive daily to meet each child's need, and we ask that you reward each of them with blessing for that dedication. These things we ask in your name. Amen.
Mr. Warner, will you lead us in the pledge, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Foche, can you roll call, please?
Mrs. Acevedo is not with us. Mr. Campbell, Mr. Egan, Ms. Jackson, Mrs. Lemoyne, Mrs. Dysart, Mr. England,
Here.
Mr. Long,
Here.
Mr. Smith,
Here.
Mr. Warner,
Here.
Mrs. White.
All right, thank you, Ms. Foche. In our audience tonight, we got a couple of students from UNO classes that have those classes. And would you get up, just give your name, please? Please, appreciate it. No, right up here. No, right, the podium, this, right there, right.
Okay.
My name is Felix Caserta Jr. I'm here with the cohort program with St. Bernard Parish Schools. So we're taking a class called School Governance. So we come here to observe a school board meeting and see just everything that kind of flows through. So, yeah, thank you.
And Mr. Caserta, why don't you tell us where you teach and what you teach, so
Okay.
people will know.
I teach at Tris Middle School. I teach a Journey to Careers class. Before that, I taught at Sherman High, and I taught daughters and everything. So it's nice to be here, though. You know, thank you.
Oh, we're glad to have you. Thank you.
Good
Hey,
evening,
good
y'all.
evening.
I am Brittany Field. I teach at Lacoste Elementary. I teach third grade there.
Okay.
I am also in the UNO Ed Leadership Program, started this summer. I am going through my first year as teacher leader at Lacoste for the third grade team. Yeah, and Felix kind of said the rest. Thank you.
Well, we're really glad to have y'all here.
Thank you.
Mr. England,
Yes, Ms. Dysart?
just welcome to Mr. Caserta and Ms. Fields. But in addition to Ms. Fields being a teacher, she's also the cheerleader sponsor, which
Oh,
takes
really?
up a lot of her time too. And she's wonderful at it, if I must say. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dysart. Anyone else? Okay. Move on to item number 4, the school report for lockdown drills. Ms. Foche?
Just very briefly, in your packet, revised statute 17416.16 mandates that once a year that each of our schools does an update on our school administrators' crisis management response plans, and that we report that to you once a year at a public meeting. And I'm happy to say that over the summer, we did review all of our crisis and management response plans, tweak them where they needed to be tweaked, and implemented this year, obviously, again, as we do each year. It also mandates that within the first 30 days of school that we initially have one of our drills, and each of our schools has performed their lockdown drill this year. In fact, we even got calls from some parents wondering what is going on at the school. I heard they're on lockdown, and we had to tell everybody that it was actually just the drill that we do each and every year. The principals walk the buildings, the administrators, to make sure that all of the things that we do that are in our security plans are implemented, and if there has been any deviation from them, talk and discuss, with the faculty or the particular people how we can improve. In most of the situations, we've had representatives from the Sheriff's Department with us as we do it, because it is a joint venture. And as you know, because we had a presentation to the board, I think it was last year, on all of the security plans that we have at our schools. And we are the first school system in the state that has one of the most comprehensive plans. That was done in conjunction with the LSU. Our parish government GOSEP group had secured a grant for us to coordinate those plans, and we have that coordination done with the Sheriff's Department, the Fire Department, Acadian Ambulance, the press, what happens, what we do, when we do, where we place people from all the different groups and organizations. And as you well know, the Sheriff's Department has, their SWAT team has trained in every one of our schools. They have the blueprints of our schools. They've done training within them, and then we can connect them real time with what's going on in the case of a crisis. And we're happy to say that within this community, anytime we call anyone from the Sheriff's Department, they are there within minutes. So we've got a tremendous working relationship with Sheriff Pullman and his department on this. So we have taken all of those precautions. We update our plans each year, and we practice those drills with our students.
Right. It's a shame that we have to go through all this, but years ago, when I was going to school many years ago, that's all we had was fire drills. And that was it.
Now
But
we
today,
have all
it's a
kinds of
necessity.
drills.
Right, all kinds of drills, and it's a necessity, and it's just the times have changed a little bit, so, but at least we prepared, that's the main thing.
As we can
Okay,
be.
any board members want to say anything? Mr. Long?
Just briefly, Ms. Foche, I know it goes without saying that we have one entrance, right, to each school site. In other words, all the exterior doors are always locked, correct?
They always are supposed to be locked, yes. At the elementary schools, the buildings were built to where hopefully we have one main entrance. Everything else is locked. I think we joked a little bit about at one point at one of the schools, you know, the pizza man knocked on the back door and one of the kids just went ahead and let him in, so we have to retrain our our elementary students that he may not always be Mr. Friendly Pizza Man. We don't open the doors for anyone. But no, we built those schools with that in mind. We've tried to do renovations at our existing schools to minimize the number of entrances. When you've got larger campuses, you obviously have more ways in and out. One of the things when we were designing Shelman High School, and one of the reasons, as you well know, for the walkway across connecting, is that a student can go to any spot within the high school without ever going outside. So they are not separate buildings. They can walk across the walkway, walk straight through the 9th grade academy into the Cultural Arts Center. So every one of their activities or classes are accessible by going within the building once they're inside. So we're taking as many steps as we can to minimize the number of entrances and exits.
And I know we have new teachers coming in every now and then, and maybe some new students. I guess it's part of their orientation to familiarize them with the plan.
Well, as those drills come up, yes.
Okay.
You know, the teachers, we do that during the workshop and the orientations in the beginning of the school year. If new students come in anytime during the year, they quickly learn the next drill time, what to do, and they're enough. And the younger the child, the more I think the more protective the teachers are. If you have a new student that comes in, you make sure that the next time you have something, they're quite aware of what they need to do.
Right, okay. Thanks, appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Long. Anyone else? Thank you, Ms. Foche. We're going to item number 5, motion to incorporate the report of the September General Committee meeting into the minutes of the September regular monthly meeting. Have a motion by Mr. Wong, second by Mr. Smith. Any adjustments to this report? If not, please cast your vote.
Motion passes 10-0.
Okay, item number 6, review of personnel changes. Ms. Foche.
As you can see, anything highlighted in yellow has been a change since the committee meeting. Hopefully, we don't have a lot of movement in and out in terms of resignation and new. I mean, we have lots of issues, not lots, but the standard, pregnancies, surgeries, those types of things where we have to get long-term substitutes in. But other than that, things are looking very good, I think.
So we're fully staffed then, right?
Right.
Okay, good.
For the, other than
As we speak.
As we speak. Things change daily,
Okay, fine. Anyone else like to make a comment? Okay, that's for information purposes only.
Yes.
Move on to item number 7. Motion to approve the administration's recommendation to award general liability, auto, and legal liability insurance to Louisiana Risk Management Agency at a cost of $208,194 minus a $23,742 equity fund for a total of $184,452.
Also move.
We have a motion by Mr. Smith, second by Ms. Dysart. I really like that equity fund, refund, that helps out. And we have Mr. right. And we have Mr. Clements here, and his son. So if you got any questions, they're here to answer any questions that you might have. I know we went over this at the committee meeting, so if no question, Ms.
Yeah, I wasn't here at the last meeting. Is there a reason, what was the reason we weren't able to get any other quotes? We just have one? Maybe y'all went over this, I wasn't.
What it is the Loma program's been in existence now for, 15 years, almost 20 years, I guess. And with the equity fund built into it, companies won't quote us. The price is so good that they're not going to bother to practice quote, is what they call it. So they just step aside. And every year we approach the regular governmental insurers to that. And you still got Loma? Yep. Well, you get rid of the equity fund? Nope. Thank goodness. And so they just bow out.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clements. Anybody else from Mr. Clements? Well, we got him here. If not, please cast your vote.
Motion passes 10-0.
Okay.
Thank you.
Part B of this is a motion to authorize the superintendent to sign the required Louisiana uninsured motors form. We have a motion by Ms. Lemoyne, second by Mr. Smith. And this is a standard form every year that has to be signed. So, any questions? If not, please cast your vote.
Motion passes 10-0.
Item number 8, items to be placed on the agenda for next committee meeting. You have 5 days before the meeting to get anything that you want on the agenda. You can get in contact with myself, Ms. Foche, Ms. Dysart, Ms. Benazak, and we'll be glad to put it on the agenda. So, and yes, Ms. Dysart.
One point of privilege, I mentioned Mrs. Fields from Lacoste, and Mr. Caserta, I just want to say, I know he's an excellent teacher at Trist also, and he comes from a long line of public education participants and educators, and, I know his parents came from public education. I went to school with one of his parents, and so anyway, we thank you for your service too, Mr. Caserta, and thank you to Ms. Fields for coming tonight. Good to see y'all both. And thanks for being within our ranks.
That's right. Thank you, Ms. Dysart. Anyone else? Okay. Item number 9, superintendent's recommendations. Ms. Foche.
Nothing other than to say we've had an extremely smooth opening this year. Things seem to be going very, very well. Our enrollment is up again. As we talked about a little bit at the committee meeting when we looked at the numbers. And I think we had a very good opening of school and nice pay raise for our employees. So we're off on a very positive note, and we hope to have a very successful year.
Right. Thank you. And also, I'd like to put a shout out and a thanks to the Shelmet alumni put on a good program this past Friday night after the Holy Cross game. It was well attended by everyone, and I think everybody had enough food. They did have a lot of food. It was very good.
It's a very nice event.
Right,
Very
yes,
nice
was,
event.
right. Okay, item number 10, adjournment. Mr. Campbell, second by Mr. Egan.
Second time in 22 years.
All in favor? Aye. This meeting's adjourned. Thank you and good night.